Right, right, right. And that also segues to my next question. By you doing radio now, you have a morning show out on WPGC 95.5, correct?
Right, in Washington.
Yes, and with the way radio is now, you pretty much have to pick and choose which format you want to go into, and that puts a lover of different types of music in a whole. So how do you feel about the current state of radio and by it being so formatted?
I don't like it. It's a different day, and I'm very fortunate. Unfortunately, I'm very fortunate to be one of the few that, I have total control of my show and the music I play. I do what I want to do. And I say unfortunately because that list is so short, I can't help but think about young people out there now who come into this business who will never have a chance to express themselves musically. I've always had that chance. I've always had that, and the day I don't is the last day I do this.
Right.
And I'm all over the place, man, because I love music. I'm telling you, there's no telling what I will play on any given day. I mean, I've gone from Jimi Hendrix to Santana to 50 Cent to Mariah in 15, 20 minutes, I mean, I'm all over the place.
Right.
Sometimes. But I've been very fortunate in that my audience will go with me. Programmers tend to think that it's not... I always tell them that I'm old school. I came in when it was called broadcasting. They still call it that, but it's really narrowcasting now. And I don't like that, When I travel now to any given city, I can turn on the radio and in 5 or 6 minutes tell you what that station is. Okay, that's hip-hop and R&B, or that's, smooth jazz. Or it's just all so... It's a formula now, from market to market. Back in the day when I used to travel, I'd get to a city, man, I could hardly wait for the plane to touch down, to turn on the radio, to hear Chicago, to feel New Orleans or L.A. They were all different. Everybody, they had, the music was different, the vibe was just different. Every city had a flavor. And now that flavor just doesn't exist, because you've got these conglomerates that have taken over everything. In so many cases, you've got one programmer telling 30 stations what to do, and, so they all become the same.
Right. And I've noticed, too, I've been going on radioandrecords.com that a lot of formats are flipping to, like, urban or rhythmic formats because they figured they could make more money in, like, an urban or rhythmic market. And with the way radio is now, I see it as if you want to play what you want, you either got to go to a jack station or go on satellite radio or online radio.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. That's probably true. And that's sad.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
Because I feel the same way you do. Like, great minds think alike. And, like, last week on my show, I played the Human League, Human. And actually, I was kind of nervous about that. But
wow.
Yes.
That's my boys, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yes.
That's their song. Yeah, wow, to be nervous about that song, which did very well. R&B, too. It wasn't just a pop smash. Yeah, wow. I have to tell you a quick story. I remember after I gave up programming when I was at KISS, one day I played, this is really stretching it out, but this is me. I went on air and I was talking about this guy, Garth Brooks. Who is this guy? I said, I don't know his music. I don't listen to a whole lot of country, but I love music. I look in the Billboard charts, and this guy has 5 albums listed on the charts, all on the left-hand side, meaning all in the top 50. Behind them are little triangles, which indicate platinum. Behind the little triangle are numbers that say 14, 10, 8, 12. I said, this dude's got like 65 million albums sold, So I went out to the store and bought some Garth Brooks because I wanted to hear, I'm in the music. This is the business I'm in. I want to know. I said, this dude is off the hook. Man, I went on the air and played like snippets of 3 or 4 songs. And after the show, the program director, because even though they gave me some stupid title, executive VP or something, which never, titles don't mean a thing. I'm not programming it anymore. A title does make me feel good. I don't care about that. But the program director comes and she's upset. How could you play Garth Brooks? I can't. I said, Barbara, don't talk to me about my music. She went on and on. Finally, she goes to the general manager, and next thing you know, I'm in a meeting in his office, and he's like, Barbara said you were short with her, you were pretty nasty. I said, yeah, she's talking to me about my music. You don't talk to me about my music, period. Mm-hmm. He says, well, I understand, but she was concerned because it's Garth Brooks. I said, Skip, I don't have conversations about my music with anyone. I do what I do,
Mm-hmm.
So meeting ends, and I know this probably makes me sound like some kind of controlling, egotistical, but it's not. It's I feel like I know music, I know radio. I've done this for a long time. I'm not trying to say I'm the best at it, but I've had some success. We've got the #1 show in this market for I don't know how many years. There's something. There's a reason that happens, and I'm protective of my freedom of creativity. I have to have it. So, meeting ends. The next day, Washington Post does a huge front-page style section article on Garth Brooks. The opening paragraph says, how big is Garth Brooks? Yesterday crossed over to the Donnie Simpson show on WKYS. It was just so perfect. That was advertising you couldn't buy for $1 million. And it came about because of that freedom to create that I have.
Right.
I mean, you talk about a foot in your mouth moment for the program director and the general manager. That was it. It's like, leave him alone. Let him do what he does. And that's one thing I appreciate about my general manager here and the state. It just WPGC. They know. I mean, they just don't talk to me about the show.
Right.
I don't do critique sessions and have discussions about music, and I just don't. I'm one of them look out the windows, how does the day feel kind of guys, The day feels like My Girl by the Temps. I'm dropping it.
Right.
That's the way I do the show.